I'm running now. We'll see. It's giving error. What
I
it
think
is? Excellence and native construction. Auto search to drop down. It is giving us in that line only dot click. It is unable to click. Internal reflects. Okay. It is giving error. Element click interrupted. Element is not clickable at point. It is able to identify, but it is unable to click. So I will just debug and see 1 minute. But it is able to identify the element, but it is unable to click. Okay. Now instead of equals, I will give contains and see what happens.
Sir, maybe it will take some time to read the exact value and click that value. We will give the sleep there after matching element.
I will try. No, because already it is matching, right? So it has to click because already it is available, that element. Because here only it is in the list only it is already available.
Okay.
Because it
I
is
thought
available
that
from the
it will, yes.
I think if they are not allowing, there might be some restrictions. Okay. So we can try other way. See, it is already getting the value. Okay. But it
Yes.
is not matching here. Yeah, now it is matching. Okay, it went inside and it is telling it's not clickable. Okay, but it is trying to find, it is matching also, but it is not clickable. Okay, so in that we will just try once force clickable and see. Okay, the one which we use. Okay, this force clickable, this will not happen in our application. Okay, frequently for any, rarely you can find one element. Okay, so we used somewhere here, right? Force clickable. We'll just try because these are all real applications, right, in production. Okay, so there might be some restrictions. So here, so I have to tell to the driver of XPath of this element. Click on this element. We'll just web element. I'll just try to do this and see. Because these are real applications, right? They don't want to like hackers, everyone, they will be trying, right, to break the applications. So they will be having some restrictions, okay, for automation, everything. Because we are not doing so much. Okay, they are at least allowing using these forceful actions. Okay, if we are trying to do some performance testing, load testing, the application may go down. See, it has selected yes or no.
Yeah.
Is that clear?
Yes.
So what I did here, usually we used to give these lines, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But here already I don't want to give the web element because already I'm having this web element here. Yes or no?
Yes.
This is a web element, right?
Yeah.
So we are
Yes.
trying to do each place dot click. Instead of that, I gave the directly that each place in the element here. Okay.
Yes.
Clear? Clear? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So now in the same way, even if you, for example, if you change some other place, for example, if you give HA, okay. So you are getting this. Okay. I want to type on
Yeah.
this country, this city. Okay. I will just inspect and get that city, and then I will try to inspect. Come on. This is the place. This is the one. H, and then I will come on. And then scroll down, and I'll, for example, Ludhiana. Okay. I will take this Ludhiana. So I'll just go here. I will replace here. Okay. And here I will give AH. Okay. Clear. So I'm just changing my search. Son now.
Yes.
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 So when I'm doing Ludhiana, there'll be many cities with AH matching to AH. Okay. So we will see what happens. So from AH, it will try to read all the values. Okay, it is trying. I will just run once again. The application is very fast. But you understood the concept, right? What I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is how for dynamic drop downs you will help it. So because even if you're practicing in some real-time applications, if you are unable to click on some element, but you are able to find that element, then what you have to do, you can just use this force clickable. Okay. See, these are all the cities which was matched using AH search. Okay. So it is
Okay.
going till Ludhiana and then it is doing action. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Clear?
Yes.
So even if you go and search for AH, you will get many, see. A, then H. Okay, see, it is giving many search. Yes or no?
Yeah.
So it is crawling till Ludhiana and then selecting that. Okay, is that clear?
Yes.
Yes.
So in the same way, you can try with 2 also. Okay,
Okay.
can you try 2?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay,
Yes.
very good. So now we have looked into how to handle
Dynamic. Dynamic drop.
Static drop down, dynamic drop down.
Very good. Now there is something radio button, right? You have not yet started. Looked into radio button. We are having radio button. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now we will just look into that radio button. The Spice Jet. Okay, so here, if you see, now which one is highlighted?
One way.
One way. So when one way is highlighted, we want to check that return date is not required because it is one way. Yes or no?
Yes.
When round trip is selected, then only this should be highlighted. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
So now we have to do that validation also, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So that we will try to find these radio buttons. Okay.
Okay.
Now what we are trying to find?
Radio button.
Radio buttons.
Radio buttons. Okay. Fine. So now I will just go on this radio button and inspect. See, I'm getting this option. Okay. So this is for one way. This is the travel options. Okay. So
Okay.
now I can directly check here. Okay. If this is selected, how can I know if it is selected? See, this is for, if you see here, one. So this is for one way. Yes or no?
Okay.
See, I'm selecting this radio button. This radio button is for round trip. So if you see what is the difference between this, because one way is selected and round trip is not selected. Yes or no?
Yeah.
So by default, one way will be selected. So when one way is selected, you should see that this is
Not selected.
Disabled.
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 Okay.
Disabled.
Okay. So to check that whether this is disabled, we have to find this return date element, and then we have to inform to driver, go and check this element whether it is enabled or disabled. Okay.
Okay.
We will do that now. So here, if you see, okay, round trip. Okay. There is additional class here selected. See, this is having selected, this is not having selected because this is highlighted. Okay. Yeah. Clear. So you can see the difference for this one way and round trip. There is additional class developer has written whenever it is selected, he's making as class is equal to selected label.
Okay.
But we don't have that here.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So now we know that by default one way is selected. Okay. So now I have to check when by default, when I load the page, this is enabled or
Disabled.
disabled. Okay. How to do that? If I go here, first I have to select this element. Yes or no?
Okay.
Okay. So for this element, this is, so I will copy this. So now it is enabled or disabled?
Disabled.
Disabled. I'm just copying that web element. Why I'm copying is I want to see the difference. What my developer is making difference when I am having disabled and enabled. Okay. So this is first one is when it is in. So now I'm selecting round trip, and then again I'm going and selecting that. So this is the one I'm just copying. So now I'm just comparing if there is some difference when it is enabled and disabled. Okay. Everything is same. There is no difference. So there is so I will just select. So actually there is in Selenium, there is a method called is enabled or is disabled. Okay. We will try to use that and see. So now I will go and create a class radio button. So go and give this URL. And then I will write web static.
Access.
Yeah. Okay. So now here, after opening, what I have to do, I know that by default, it will be one way selected. Okay. Then now what we have to do here,
Import.
I have to go and check whether that element. So first we want to find this element uniquely. Okay. How to find this element uniquely? If we go here, we are having ID. Yes or no?
Yeah.
So I will go and give the, so everyone are using Cropath or not to validate?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
Very good. So what is the tag name?
Name input.
Input.
Input at the rate ID
ID
is equal
equals
to the two elements. Okay. So one element is hidden, no problem. So here we are having this. So I will just give this. I'm telling driver dot find element by dot ID, and I will give this ID. Okay, dot
Is disabled.
see, it is giving is disabled or is enabled. Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
if I give is disabled, it will return it's see what is its return value.
So that is displayed, right?
So is I select not selected enabled. First one I selected. Okay. So
Yeah.
when I give is, it is okay. I have to select enabled. Okay.
Mhm.
So here, see what would is the data type of is enabled method?
Boolean.
Boolean means what it should return,
True
True
or
or
false.
true or false. Okay. So now I will just give some value. I can directly give that to
Yes,
in a
yes.
system dot output, so that we are expecting. So we are expecting true or false.
Is enabled.
False.
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 False, right?
Mhm.
We will see what happens. So what is happening? It is giving what?
True.
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 But what we are expecting?
False.
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 Okay. So now if you see here, this is enabled or disabled.
Disabled.
So when we click, so what do you mean by disable? Means when we click also it should not,
Allowing.
Respond.
it should not happen anything. Yes or no? That is
Yeah.
disabled, right?
Yeah.
But by seeing this, we are thinking that it is
Disabled.
Enable.
it is looking like that
By
only, right?
seeing-
Yes.
Yeah.
But when we see, but when I go on click on this, it is automatically clicking and automatically one way is changing to round trip.
Into round trip. Yeah.
So actually it is not disabled. It is just looking like disabled. You're getting my point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my developer has designed in such a way that he is not making it disabled 100%. Okay. He is
Okay.
just making look like disabled. But see, this, for example, this is disabled. 1, 2, 3. Yes or no?
Mm.
Even
Yeah.
when you click on this, nothing will happen. Yes or no?
Yes. Sir.
Yes.
Because this is 100% disabled. Okay. But this one, what my developer has done is telling you look like disabled. If someone wants to select the return date, then don't restrict him here. He's automatically changing to round trip. See, it is one way now. Okay, now when I go and click here, it is automatically enabled and changed to round trip. So this is actually not disabled. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it is looking like disabled. So in this case, we can't use this is enabled method because it is not, it is enabled only.
Yes.
Okay, so only it is returning as true because it is enabled, but it is just looking like not enabled. That's it. Okay. So now we can't use this Selenium method. We have to find some other way. Yes or no?
Yes. Sir.
Yes.
To test. So now even when I get the element, I don't see any difference when it is looking like enabled, looking like disabled. Okay. So for that, what we did, we were just taking this element. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes.
Instead of, so with this element, we are unable to find. So now what we will do, we'll try to find some its parent, okay, and see if some different is there. Okay.
Okay.
So this is the parent. Okay. For example, return date it has. Okay. So I will just copy this. So now return date is enabled or disabled?
Enable.
It is looking like enabled. Round trip is selected. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I will go, I will just copy this. When I copy this, this is for enabled. Okay. So it is giving me the whole element like this controlling. So this is highlighted. I will just remove everything. I will just put only one line. So this is space. So much. Okay, I will just remove everything. I will just put only one line. That is enough. Okay, so this is when it is enabled. Okay, now I'm selecting one way so that it is
Disable.
look like disabled. Okay, so when it is looking like disabled, again I will go and take the parent. Okay, this is the one. Yes or no?
Okay.
Yes.
So I will just copy. So here also it is giving so much. I will just remove everything. Okay, so now first one is when it is looking enabled. Second one is when it is looking disabled. Now, if you try to find
Mhm.
now, if you try to find, can you see some difference?
Yes.
Opacity.
What is that?
Opacity.
So opacity.
Opacity.
So
Opacity.
opacity is different. So opacity is 1 and opacity is 0.5. So when it is 1, it is
Enabled.
Enabled.
my developer has written like
Enable.
whenever it is 1, make opacity as 1. Whenever, so because this is not enabled and disabled, they have introduced a new attribute opacity where it
Mhm.
is making to look like disabled, look like enabled. Okay.
Okay.
So now I have to write that whenever one way is selected, the opacity should be
0.5.
yes or no? And
Yes.
whenever round trip is selected, my opacity should be
1.
1.
okay. Shall we try this? So opacity is a attribute. What is this opacity?
Attribute name.
Yes or no?
Attribute.
So
Yeah.
now what I am telling, I will remove this is enabled. Okay.
Okay.
Now I'm telling dot. I will tell get attribute. What?
Get attribute.
Because I want to get the attribute. What is the attribute?
Opacity.
Opacity. Okay. Now I will save that to a value. 1 minute. What is this error? Syntax. Okay. So now I will save this to a value. For example, I'm expecting int. Yes or no? I'm just
Yeah.
giving int value variable. Okay. Now, okay, what? But it is not, cannot convert to void int. Okay. Value. So this is get attribute is returning string. Okay. See here, it is returning string. So I can't give as it int. Okay. So I have to give a string only. Okay.
Okay.
Try and convert it to void to string.
And
Oh,
if you remove println statement.
yeah. Yes. Okay, fine, right? So now what I'm expecting when one way is selected?
1.
0.5.
No, 0.5. One is when round trip is selected. Yes or no? So now I
Yes.
can write if value dot equals dot equals to 0.5, then return date is looking like disabled. Okay. Else
Enabled.
so now when I run, what happens?
The return date is looking like this.
So it should be giving me like this. Yes or no?
Yes.
I will run this. So see what we are trying to do here. We are not getting the text. We are trying to get the attribute value. You understood where in which case we have to get the text, in which case we have to get the attribute value. Okay. So it's telling value is null. 1 minute. We'll just try to print this, print the value what is returning. I will just give some time for the page to load. Dot sleep. I'm just giving some time for the page to load. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
All this, why everything this, there is a separate concept of synchronization. In that I will explain you. Okay. Why we will use with dot sleep, a different explicit weight, implicit weight, everything. So because it takes some times to load the page. Okay. Till that finds that element. It's taking time to load, I think.
Whenever we feel like it is
Yeah.
like disabled anything, then we will write get attribute instead of get text.
Exactly. See, get text will give you the actual text. Okay. But here you don't want the text. You want the attribute value. You are just comparing the attribute value. Yes or no? So here trying to get the okay, because I'm giving the ID wrong, because here we are using the parent, right? Yes or no?
Yeah.
This is having ID market date. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because I did not change that. Okay, so now I will just give the so return date is looking like disabled. Just still giving null, cannot. The value is giving null by dot id. I will just debug. So this is the value which I'm identifying. This is opacity. This is opacity, correct. Opacity is correct. Get attribute. Okay, I will just debug and see whether it's taking time for loading or 1 minute. Because if see it's loading, it's taking time to load, right? So by the time it completely loads, I think my script is trying to execute before that. So now it's 100% loaded. Okay. So now I will go on debug. We will see what happens. F6. So it's giving as null. So it is giving null string. Okay. So driver dot find element, and we are trying to find that element dot. This is only the ID, right? Okay, date. Okay. It was our mistake. See, can somebody tell what is the mistake which we did?
Yes, sir. We should take the one radio buttons tag name, right?
No.
Export.
No. See, already by default it is selected. We are not doing anything. Here, what is the mistake is opacity is not attribute. Style is the attribute. See,
Yeah.
you're getting my point. See,
Okay.
this opacity is inside the attribute
Yeah,
value
it is.
of style. You are getting my point.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is opacity
It is not
contains.
clear, sir.
No. See, I was just telling opacity as attribute, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Actually, attribute is style. See, style is
Style.
equal to ID. See, ID is attribute. Yes or no?
Yes.
Class
Yes.
is attribute. Class is equal to this is the attribute value. ID is the attribute and its value is this. Now style is the attribute and this is the value of style. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
So this
Yeah.
this whole is attribute. Till here it
Yes.
is attribute only. Expert is attribute. Okay. You got my point, everyone.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So now what we have to do, we have to try to print this style. Then we will see. Okay. I will just comment this. I will just debug this and see now, or I can run directly, no problem. So now here I can't give equals.
Yes.
So I have to give contains opacity is equal to 0.5, or I can give directly 0.5 also, no problem. Okay, because in this we have only 0.5 and one only at one place, right? So I can give directly 1. We'll see what happens now. It was my mistake that I gave attribute as opacity. It is attribute style. Okay, the page is still loading. It's loaded. Okay, see, if you see here, what it is printing now, it is printing the value. Yes or no? So if you see the attribute of style, it is printing the whole value.
Well, yes.
So now we are telling if value contains 0.5, then return date is looking like disabled. Yes or no?
Yes.
So this is the style is the attribute. Okay, clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, very good. So now what I will do, I will just put select. I will select radio button. Okay, now I will select this radio button. So I'm telling to select this radio button. Okay. When I select that radio button, the opacity should be 1 or 0.5. When I select 2 round trip. So now one way is selected. Okay. Now when I select radio button, and this is the ID. So what I will do, I will tell that driver dot find element by dot ID. So now I'm selecting what? Dot click. Okay, this is dot click only. Okay, so now I'm selecting round trip. When round trip is selected, the style of this should be, I will just give thread dot sleep for 1 second. We'll see. So I'm selecting on round trip, and then I'm just waiting. After selecting this, I'm waiting for 1 second, and then I'm taking the values of this. Okay, yes or no?
Yes.
So now it should print return date is looking like enabled. Okay, I will run this. So now why it is enabled? Because I have selected round trip here. Okay, so by default it is one way. So when it is one way, then you know that it should look like disabled. So you are trying if opacity contains 0.5, then it is looking like disabled. Yes. So now it is selected round trip. See, it has selected round trip. Yes or no? See, now the opacity of this is 1. Is that clear?
Yes.
Yeah. So this way we can look into this. So what we are trying to do here, understand, we are trying that we can also get not only the text, but also we can get the attribute value whenever needed. Okay. So get attribute will return you the value of that attribute which you are requesting. Okay. So here I'm requesting attribute style. So it is returning me this value. And then I'm telling if this attribute contains 1, means it is looking like enabled. Whenever one way is selected, it should be 0.5. Is that clear?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it clear to everyone? This is how you can validate some nature of the fields. Okay, some style. So this is the styling. Okay, fine. Okay, I will stop my session and I will share the code. So I will just share my code. I will just push my code. How to push my code? I'll right click and then go to properties. I'm going to my folder. Okay, where my project is there. Okay, and then I will open the command prompt inside this India morning batch. After opening command prompt, first I will do git add. Okay, I'm just adding all the files, whatever I have added newly or have done some changes. I'm just checking if everything has been added or not by using git status. So now everything is green. If something still in red, then again you have to do git add. Okay. So now I will do git commit -m. So this today class is a like auto
Radio.
suggestive drop down. Okay. Now git
push origin.
origin
Then
master.
master.
Okay.
Yeah.
Clear.
Yeah.
So it is giving me error because I typed O capital letter. Okay, so now I have pushed. So now what you people have to do, you have to go to the project folder, Indian morning batch, and then open that folder, then open command prompt and run the command git pull origin master. Okay.
Yeah.
Clear. Fine. I will stop the session. Okay. Bye. Thank you all.
Bye.